What's up, everybody? JT Sports back at you guys with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts impact players for the 2019 NFL season. And before I begin, man, imagine being in a life or death situation, right? And somebody telling you if you want to live, you have to spell Indianapolis. A lot of people, well, I can't speak for majority of people, but I know me, I probably would be the one dying because Indianapolis is a very, very hard city to spell, man. I'm surprised I haven't even mistyped it or anything like that. But anyway, back to the video. So the first guy that I have on this list is halfback Marlon Mack. Now, Marlon Mack had a very good season last year. He had 908 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and averaged 4.7 yards per carry, which were very, very, very big improvements compared to his rookie season stats, which was due to the improvement of the offensive line led by offensive guard Quenton Nelson. Now, Marlon Mack, if he never really got injured, he came into the season a little banged up, which is why it took him a little bit a couple of weeks to get into the flow of things. But once he got going, man, this guy really got going. And I'm expecting a big season out of this guy. I'm expecting this guy to have over 1,200 rushing yards and I'll say 11 touchdowns, man. I think Marlon Mack is the truth. I love Marlon Mack. He is one of my favorite players in the NFL. And I've been watching Marlon Mack ever since his USF days, which was years ago. I first heard about Marlon Mack back in 2016, and 2015, 2016, when he was playing with USF, led by quarterback Quentin Flowers. Um, I like Marlon Mack, man. I used to use him all the time in NCAA 14. They really need to bring that game back and make it backwards compatible. But yeah, man, I think Marlon Mack is in for a very big 2019 season. Next up, I have wide receiver T.Y. Hilton, excuse me. He had 1,270 receiving yards, 76 receptions, and 6 touchdowns. And T.Y. Hilton, man, he's the most underrated wide receiver in all of the NFL. He's made it to four Pro Bowls, has over 1,000 yards in several seasons, man, over the course of his career, man. Coming off of a 1,200 receiving yard season, man, and nobody even talked about it, man. Nobody gave this guy no attention. And you want to know what's even more disrespectful? He didn't even make it to the Pro Bowl this year. Believe it or not, T.Y. Hilton did not make it to the freaking Pro Bowl this year. This is a disgrace, man. This is a freaking disgrace. And it just goes to show, man, how underrated this guy really is, man. The fact that this guy had the numbers that he put up this year and didn't make it to the Pro Bowl, man, just shows how underrated he is, man. I believe that he is a top 5 wide receiver. He is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's also a very good deep threat, man. And I think he's going to be in for a very good season this year in 2019. Next up on this list, I had quarterback Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck last season bounced back, man. He had a Pro Bowl season, bouncing back from that shoulder injury that was keeping him out of action for the last couple of seasons. Had 4,593 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and completed 67.3% of his passes. And a big reason for that was the improvement of the Indianapolis Colts offensive line, man. Whoever their offensive line coach is down there in Indianapolis, he needs a huge pay raise, man, because he did a phenomenal job with this Indianapolis Colts offensive line. Andrew Luck actually didn't have to run for his life back there, wasn't getting hit every single time he threw the doggone ball. And it's a big reason why he had the season that he had. And Andrew Luck is probably going to be that next man up once. He's probably going to be considered the best quarterback in the NFL once Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, those guys retire. Andrew Luck is going to be in that discussion. It's most likely going to be him and Russell Wilson going neck and neck for that title. But I believe Andrew Luck is most likely going to be the guy since I believe he is the better passer. But Andrew Luck, man, he's putting together what looks to be so far a very phenomenal year, man, career. So I'm expecting big things out of Andrew Luck this year. I believe this year, with the improvement of the wide receiving core, they actually found some more wide receivers other than just T.Y. Hilton. They got Devin Funchess, they got Parris Campbell, they got a couple of other guys. You got Eric Ebron. So I'm expecting Andrew Luck to throw for at least 5,000 yards this year. That's my expectation for Andrew Luck, and I believe he should be able to accomplish that task or that goal. Next up on this list, I have tight end Eric Ebron. He also made it to the Pro Bowl last year. He had 750 receiving yards, 66 receptions, and 13 touchdowns, which I believe was leading the NFL or something like that. I think he led the NFL in touchdowns. I'm not sure. I don't have that on the paper right now. But Eric Ebron, man, this guy resurrected his career in Indianapolis, and I'm just gonna say it. Maybe it was Matthew Stafford, or maybe it was something because this guy looked like the player that the Detroit Lions expected him to be, man. And this guy, if you was to tell me before this season Eric Ebron would have this good of a year, you would be lying. You would be a big, bold-faced liar, man, because this guy had a phenomenal season, and I'm expecting him to keep up the production. Now, I'm not expecting him this year to come in and have 13 touchdowns, but I believe he is a very good red zone target, which is the reason why he had so many touchdowns last year. So I'm pretty much going to say that he has pretty much the same amount of receiving yards and receptions, and I think he'll probably have a lower touchdown percentage or lower touchdowns. He'll probably have about 7 or 8, but I don't think he'll go over 10 this year. But I think that's still pretty solid stats for Eric Ebron, who looks to have resurrected and rejuvenated his career after being with the Detroit Lions for the past couple of years. And you have to wonder, man, is it Matthew Stafford? Was Matthew Stafford holding him back? Or maybe the Detroit Lions organization just doesn't know how to find good tight ends or whatnot. So the next player that I have on this list, I have an offensive lineman. I have offensive guard Quenton Nelson. Now Quenton Nelson started in 14 games. He missed a couple. I think he only missed 2. Went to the Pro Bowl last year. Was an All Pro as a rookie, and this guy absolutely changed around what was considered one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL and made them a super powerhouse, man. Now this offensive line, I'm not saying they're one of the best, but they are a pretty solid group led by Quenton Nelson, man. And I love Quenton Nelson, man. He's a good leader, very entertaining to watch. I'm pretty sure you guys all seen that clip that went viral around the internet when this guy, I forgot which team it was, but this guy, they had him mic'd up, and during the play, you heard this guy screaming, ah, boom, and then knocks the guy flat on the ground, man. Think it was Jacksonville Jaguars, man. I want to say it was Tashawn Gibson, but somebody let me know if I'm tripping or let me know if it was somebody else. But I want to say it was Tashawn Gibson that got laid out by Quenton Nelson, man. I love Quenton Nelson. One of my favorite players in the NFL. He's very exciting to watch, very entertaining, and he's a very, very good football player. And he is going to be the Indianapolis Colts franchise offensive lineman for years and years to come, man. He's probably going to be, don't be surprised if the next couple of years after his rookie contract expires, if you see Quenton Nelson becoming the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history, man. The way that this guy improved this Indianapolis Colts offensive line, man, is something that I've never seen in all of my years watching football. I've never seen just one offensive lineman improve a whole entire offensive line. That's hard to do, man, considering the fact that he plays offensive guard. Normally, you see a center have this kind of effect on the team, but Ryan Kelly, he's a pretty solid center. But Quenton Nelson, man, has just had an effect on this Indianapolis Colts offensive line, and it shows, man. That offensive line is very improved. And everybody on that offensive line improved a lot last season, but Quenton Nelson, man, he's that anchor on that offensive line, man. And he's going to have a very good 2019 NFL season. I'm expecting him to be an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler again this season. The last offensive guy who I have on this, the last defensive guy, excuse me, the first guy I have on when it comes to the rookies on the Indianapolis Colts, I have wide receiver Parris Campbell. Now, Parris Campbell was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts in this past year's NFL draft. He's more of a slot guy, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Indianapolis Colts use him, because I don't know if they're going to line him outside or a slot, but I think they'll most likely line him up at slot. But this guy, very fast, runs very good routes. The question about Parris Campbell that I have coming into the NFL is his ability to catch the ball consistently, because he did drop a lot of easy passes during his time at Ohio State. And from what I've seen, most players that struggle with drops in college, most of them, or 70% of them, end up bringing those drops and those catching issues into the NFL. Guys like Michael Crabtree and whatnot, he struggled with drops when he was in college, and now he still struggles with drops in the NFL. Even though he has improved over the years, he still struggles with drops every once in a while, and every receiver does. But it's just a little alarming to me. But I think that should be able to be improved with some repetition on the jump machine or whatnot. But I think Paris Campbell is going to have a big impact this rookie year. Now I don't think that impact is going to come right away. Most rookie wide receivers don't really have big impacts on the offense until after the midway point. So about week 10 and week 11 is when you should expect Paris Campbell to start breaking out and start making all these highlight reels, 60-yard pass catching touchdowns or whatnot. Because once this guy gets into the open field, man, he's a very hard guy to bring down. Very elusive, very fast, very quick, has very good cuts. So Paris Campbell, I'm expecting a big rookie year out of him. And the first defensive player that I have on here is free safety or safety Malik Hooker. Now, Malik Hooker is my favorite safety in the NFL. Last season, he had 44 tackles, 2 interceptions, 4 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery. Very solid safety, man. I'm expecting him to have a big year coming into this 2019 season, going on this Indianapolis Colts defense that looks to be improving. And I think this Indianapolis Colts defense, don't be surprised. This is a sneaky good defense. Don't be surprised this Indianapolis Colts defense sneaks into the top 10 category for NFL defenses this year. Next up, we have Defensive Rookie of the Year winner, linebacker Darius Leonard. Now, Darius Leonard probably had one of the best rookie seasons I have ever seen, ever. This guy was an all-pro, didn't even get selected to the Pro Bowl, had 163 tackles, 7 sacks, 2 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. This guy was a mid-round pick, and the Indianapolis Colts absolutely nailed on him. Mel Kiper was talking crap about him. Just goes to show you how terrible these analysts are, how wrong these analysts are. This guy said that Darius Leonard was not a good player or something like that. He won't be able to be successful at the NFL level. It was some kind of crazy bull crap like that. And Darius Leonard just ended up proving him wrong. This guy is an amazing tackler, always near the ball carrier. I mean, every time you watch the Indianapolis Colts game, man, he's either tackling the ball carrier or he's near the vicinity of making a play, man. He's also very good in coverage, and he's also can rush the passer, man. 7 sacks, man. You don't really see that a lot considering what he's doing at the linebacker position, man. So, man, I'm expecting a big year out of him, man. I'm expecting similar stats to this, man, and I'm expecting he makes it to the Pro Bowl next year. He should make it to the Pro Bowl next year. Next up, I have rookie cornerback Rocky Sin, who was drafted in the 2nd round of this year's NFL draft by the Indianapolis Colts. Rocky Sin is a very physical press, man-to-man corner, and I think he's going to start right away. I don't know if they're going to start him at nickel corner or at outside corner. I prefer him at nickel corner for the first 2 seasons, and then maybe if somebody on that cornerback, like one of those outside corners, gets injured, then he could step into that role. But for right now, I like him more as a slot corner because he's big, physical. He also has pretty solid speed. So I think Rocky Sin, man, he's going to have a big impact on this Indianapolis Colts defense. I think he'll probably have 3 interceptions. I think I think it's going to be pretty good for this Indianapolis Colts defense, man. The last player that I have on this list is Justin Houston. And it's gonna be really, really weird, man, seeing Justin Houston playing for any other team other than the Kansas City Chiefs, man. But he had a pretty good year for the Kansas City Chiefs last season. He had 37 tackles, 9 sacks, 1 interception, 1 pass deflection, 5 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries, man. He is going to majorly improve this Indianapolis Colts defense because what the Indianapolis Colts defense lacks is a consistent pass rusher. They lack a guy who can consistently get pressure on the quarterback. And now they have that guy in Justin Houston. I think he's going to be in for another good season. I think he'll probably have 9, 10 sacks. And I think he'll probably make to the Pro Bowl next year if he's able to have those numbers. So let me know what you guys think about this list down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.